Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. You might have noticed I'm at a different desk. This is the new Rant Cam, the Rant Desk, the lesson board. So today I'm actually going to physically draw out when AI is going to take over. That's going to be it. So everyone loves to give a timeline. So this is going to be exactly what to look for when it comes to that time, because it's creeping up on us and it is getting closer. So we're just going to chart it out. I'm going to physically draw it out with marker because I've tried to draw this in Excel, and I'll have to wait for AI to come do it for me. So we're going to, let's just go here. We'll just start like that. Okay. You know what? Here's the .com. That's the year 2000. Let's go with 2000. Let's go 2005, 10, 15, 20. Let's go 25. Things might be growing at a rapid pace. You know what? Here's 2030. So let's go 2030. Now this is gonna represent our time. This over here is going to represent humans, what the human world can do. It's not much. So let's go. Let's go right here. This will be 1. Let's go 0.5 right here. Most humanity 0.01. Absolutely worthless. These are the people that drive slow in the left lane. They just can't comprehend anything. Should probably always get an Uber, and just stay off the road. You know, those people. Everyone knows one. Hang on, let's get this 5, 10. Let's go 15. I should have grabbed a smaller marker for this. 20. So we're going to be right inside here. Now this actually 1 will stay constant because humans, well, we don't really evolve. It takes us millions of years. So this will be 2 times what a human can do. Let's go 4, 8, 16, 32. Let's go to the top of that graph. It'll be 32. This would be 32 times what a human can do. So if you are working in a warehouse, you can move 1 box. That robot will do 32 of those robots. And the time it takes you to solve 1 math problem, that's silly, but the robot can do 32. Maybe physically write it out or something. That 3 just looks funny. You know, this will be different for each one. Let's just jot these down. Okay, because obviously we'll have humanoid robots that will do one thing, and they will still operate on the axis of time. But then there's going to be processing power. So as far as the human brain, you would almost need 2 different graphs. And if we were to chart out, maybe I'll explain a little bit later. So .com bubble, we are sitting right about 0. AI can't really do much. We've got the calculator. We're doing good. It's at a point of nothing. Let's see. Right now we're in 20. We're in between 20. So let's see. Here's 20. Just doesn't look any better. Let's go 21, 2, 3, 4, 5. Close enough. So we're actually right. I guess we're right here. This will be 2025. This is time. We'll call this access over here. Task complexity. Okay, so that will be this access right here. What the robot is actually drew an arrow. Let's just get it right here on the map. There we go. Now it's visible. All right. Task complexity, time. We've represented both. So from 2000 to 2005, not a whole lot. Nothing's really changing. Can't really do much, especially the public. Right now, the companies growing these things can obviously they get way more. We are. Let's just start it off with around 20. We're not quite what a human can do yet. Close. With the Optimus bot and everything, I'd say we're probably right here. And that's kind of been our growth, if not much less. Let's do that again. To really represent this, it's probably more like this. Probably more on that kind of time frame. Now, when we get to this point, is going to be the takeover. This will be the takeover, whether it's 2030, 2025, no matter what's going on. When we cross this, that is breakout velocity. That is everything we need to just be replaced. Because at this point, the computers can already think faster. Robots will be able to replace us. Everything changes. So when we are here, when we reach this point in time, I guess that's D-Day. What are you doing? The question everyone will have to answer right there on this one is, as a CEO, do I lay off everybody and just replace robots? Because there will be a number on a clipboard that does just get replaced, and it will make a lot of sense to replace them. But there's going to be backlash with AI. Maybe you have morals, and the government. The government just doesn't react to things fast enough. They don't get things done ahead of time. They react. There is a word I'm looking for. The government is reactive, not proactive. Proactive is the word I was looking for. So when everybody talks about regulations, there'll be a lot of regulations before this time hits. There's not going to be any regulations at all. AI will come up with the cure to cancer, the humanoid robot to replace every job. It'll be full self-driving, just like when they made the car, right? Seatbelts didn't come out until decades later. People were just dying left and right, flying out of cars. And then you saw the implementation of just a safety strap. And then you saw, later on, it needed to be in every vehicle. It just needed to be in there. And then it was highly suggested that you wear it. And then it was legal. It is now law that you have to wear it. That's how the government is probably going to react to AI, right? They're just, again, reactive. And at this point, it does kind of make sense, because if you go start getting proactive about a bunch of things, you start getting proactive right here, you might fix a whole bunch of problems that just never actually come to fruition. And then meanwhile, you have something else going on in the background that you could have spent your time and resources on. So it actually does make a little bit more sense on this one to maybe be a little more reactive than proactive, because when we let this genie out of the bottle, there's too many unknowns. And much like we talked about in a previous video, each time we dive into DNA sequencing, we discover one thing, but we also discover 15 more questions. There's 10 more things we need to figure out now. And that's what's going to happen a lot here, I think. So it'll be up to the companies. I think there will be, protests, riots, whatever. But it depends on the job, the company. I've talked about lawyers and accountants. They're gone day one, because why would you hire a human that's slow when you could be 1,000% more effective and 100% accurate? The last report that was shown was the AI was 99.97% accurate. So why would you hire an accountant when you could have that kind of accuracy, know every loophole, know everything, and in a matter of seconds? It just won't make sense. Now, when it comes to factory work, so I used to think factories would be the first to go. Robots would come out, replace the factory workers with just repetitive motions. I thought it'd be a lot easier to make that. AI is clearly jumping the gun and starting off with the upper end. And it should have made sense. It should have clicked a long time ago. But if you have a computer job, all you're doing is sitting at your computer. You have remote work. You don't even need to be anywhere. That's everything a program could figure out now. The only thing is no one's taking the time to tell the robot how to do it. The robot hadn't figured out how to think for itself yet, so we still have to coach it and do it. So this point will be different for each job. And then at that point, again, we're just talking about this right here. Should have gave humans a different color. Let's go humans. Let's go green. Okay, so if you are a human right here, this is where you need to ask yourself, why would the company keep me around? Okay. Again, there's going to be backlash. Do they want that PR of they just laid off thousands of employees just to have a robot replace it? It's going to be different for everybody, but there is going to be is the juice worth the squeeze? Right now, if I lay everybody off of my companies and I get boycotted and a bunch of backlash, maybe it's not worth it. There comes a time where it will be worth it, and that's, again, this point right here is where that hourglass gets tipped. There are a lot of jobs that, as far as the transition period, I've talked about a lot. and we're going to get into the exponential curve here in a little bit. We're not done with the chart. There are a lot of jobs right now. So factory workers. And I used to think the robots would just come in and just one day your job is gone. I've talked about the UAW. They didn't put a robot-to-human ratio in their last contract. They have 4-year contracts. They just signed what I'm going to assume is their last contract. They should have put a ratio in there, but they didn't. They have ratios for full-time and temp employees. So if you go to like the GM factory, and I should have read up on maybe a little bit more, but I know GM, because there's one down the street from me. People are there part-time for just years before they even get full-time. I think that did just get changed, but at the same time, you could fire a part-time employee, a temp, no problem, no muss, no fuss. The full-time ones are going to be an issue, and maybe the UAW does replace those, or at least hold those out. But if I want to, I don't need to lay them off. I just need to say no work available. Hey, a robot can do that job now. Robots replace jobs in factories all the time. Granted, it's usually safety concerns first. My friend used to do a sealant job. He would seal the back of the trucks. There was leaks all the time in the F-150, and then all of a sudden a robot came in and did it. Now it's 100% accurate. The thing's amazing. And they didn't lay him off. They just moved him to a different area. And eventually they'll lay you off for no work available. Hey, robots just replaced it one by one. Now there is no PR. But also, not to mention, if you're a factory worker, somebody who does a repetitive job, you know this. What factory out there does not have a high turnover rate, especially after COVID? People got used to the government just handing them money and they just sit at home, so it's hard for people to come back to work. Any part suppliers, a lot of them are struggling. So now we just bring out a humanoid robot that's going to replace it. Now what they don't need to do is hire any new people and let it take care of itself. They avoid all the bad PR. And I do think now, after I put a lot of thought into this, I think that's how the transition's probably going to take place. Because those robots coming in will automatically show bigger profits for the companies. They'll be more efficient. They'll be back up to running 100% with the little staff that they do have. And as people rotate out or quit, they're just not going to bring in any new people. Eventually, and hopefully after everyone gets used to it, maybe protests die down, the thoughts about robots, maybe the government has done something by then, but eventually there will be the day where they say, all right, no work available. We're just going to bring in robots to do everything. And again, that'll be something the CEO or that'll be something the company will have to figure out as it comes, because I think that will be different for everyone. There are jobs that robots probably can replace. We've talked about this before. Being a barber. I don't want a robot cutting my hair. Part of getting your hair cut is the experience, just going in, just BSing with all the barbers there and everybody that's getting their hair cut at the time. Therapists. There are there's arguments now for those AI therapists. I don't know if I'm going to. Again, I'm not licensed for this, but let's say I'm going to therapist because I'm feeling lonely, and my only interaction is social media, and now I can't even talk to another human. I have to talk to another robot. I might just eat a 45 after that. So I think there are jobs that can be replaced that won't. So I've definitely calmed down my thoughts there. But here's the dangerous part about robots: computing, processing power, and how fast it grows. We've talked about this exponential curve because people have had dates. It looks blurry right now because I'm just using the fat marker, but this is 2030. This is when people think robots will take over. That used to be 2100. It used to be 2050, and it just gets dropped down more and more because there's something people just weren't accounting for, and they've openly admitted this. They said, "Oh, there's a problem with this," and they're talking about that exponential curve. Computing doesn't just go in a straight line like this, okay? It's actually more exponential, like we have right here on this axis. It goes from 1 to 2 to 4 to 8 to 16 to 32 to 64 to 128. It grows like that. Next, 256, 512, 1024. You guys know this, especially if you're a computer nerd and you talk about computer memory. Look at how much that's grown. You know how jealous I was because my teacher had a 64 megabyte thumb drive? If I saw that on the floor, I probably would. I guess I'd be nice. I'd pick it up and throw it in the trash, but there's nothing on it. I don't even know if a photo fits on that anymore with the data we have. Everything grows exponentially, and it's fast. So as robots pick it up, people think robots, it's going to not happen in my lifetime because they're focusing on this right here. from here to here, and they're not paying attention to just even this little jump up right here. Just even that is actually what people should be paying attention to, because it's going to lead to this, and eventually this is the exponential curve that I am very worried about. Is we hit that, and eventually it's not even going to look like there is a progression in time. It's going to go vertical. And when we hit this up here, it won't even make a difference, because your brain just won't be able to comprehend how smart that robot is. You just can't understand processing power. Our brains just don't have the capacity to even do it. I've talked about Pac-Man, right? So to even explain this, you have to explain dimensions. So there's 2 dimensions, 3 dimensions, and then there's a 4th dimension, which shout out to my friends. My friend tried to explain the 4th dimension to me a long time ago. It's like a shape inside of a shape. So I asked him, I was like, hey, well, what shape is a watermelon seed? He says, like a teardrop. I said, what shape's a watermelon? He's saying, it's an oval, it's a sphere. So there you go, 4th dimension. It's a shape inside of a shape. Watermelon seeds are officially 4th dimensions. I trolled them with that forever. It drives them crazy. But we can understand a 2-dimensional world because we are in a 3-dimensional world. We go left, right, front, back. We have all the axes. In the world of Pac-Man, you have up, down, left, right. That's it. So in a 2-dimensional world, Pac-Man, if he were to look out at us, all he would see is a flat object. He wouldn't understand depth. And that's just, again, that's his capacity. That's it. We know there's more because we're involved in that. Not to say robots will be 4th dimensional, but that's how smart they'll be compared to us. We just won't be able to comprehend it. The IQ of just these large language models is already getting up there in the hundreds, and pretty soon it'll be the thousands. What does that even mean? Einstein had the IQ of, was it 2 something? Smartest man that we know. You don't quote me on this, but I want to say maybe it was 260. 260. Okay, now to be legally retarded, your IQ has to be 70, 69 or below. People that drive slow in the left lane, they're about 75. Okay, and the average person, I want to say, is like 120. What difference does it make if someone has an IQ of 260 or 2,000? You're not going to be able to understand the things they talk about anyway, and when they try to break it down to you, you're going to look like a deer in the headlights. So we're going to reach a point where IQ, it'll be just silly to even have that measured, because it won't actually matter. What difference does it make if it's 2,000 or 5,000? You're obsolete regardless. And I think that's what a lot of people are afraid of. What is going to be what's their meaning? What are they going to do? There's been a lot of doom and gloom about this, especially this point right here. Because why do they go to work? Work is their purpose. They get to go to work. They get the good jobs. They've been told their whole life if they go to college, they get the big job. They can buy the fancy cars and the big house. And that's their status. We've been told to believe that's how we show off our meaning. That's how we judge our meaning. What's your wealth? Your net worth. Man, I struggle with words sometimes. Sometimes I words. Your net worth in this world, the world is revolved around money. We're obsessed with money. It's how we show off. It's how we just in general live. And that's seeded in everybody. So the poor people, I don't want to say poor, lower class, you often see them talk about, hey, I want the rich people to pay my taxes. I get in this debate all the time. They don't understand how taxes actually work, or that rich people they're rich because of their net worth, not because of their cash. But they still they're stuck in a cash world. So that's what they want. I think a lot of people are worried about this, and that's what's driving a lot of the fear mongering, and it's going to absolutely suck. There's going to be this transition period, because we're going to hit this spot right here. Let's call this a task complexity. Let's go 124. 128. Sorry, my bad. Let's change that to 128. We're just going to jump, because this is going to be off the screen. 128. Now, this level up here, we're just going to... Okay, we're going to jump to... let's go 2048. For those of you guys that we'll call that 128 megabytes to 2 gig. There's no reference, but we'll call that an IQ. Call that 2,000 times what a human can do. we'll be lucky if the government is enacting anything at that point. Not one, because they're slow, but two, because by this time it'll be so vertical, it'll be growing exponentially. And people that understand exponential curves, these are the people that have deep mind. The CEO, he quit and just started warning everybody. Elon has warned everybody, stop. Because once we let the cat out of the bag, we're going to see this. By the time, have you guys ever noticed how long it takes somebody to put a law in action? You got to talk about it. You got to, there's a lot of inappropriate things I'm about to say. You got to do all these things to finally get some words on paper. Then it has to go up the chain of command. Then there's a vote and all that. And then does everybody like it? Do they want to hold it hostage to get something else that they want? Our system is slow, lagging, dumb, inefficient. Everything about our system's broken and just dumb. And this is going to come out and destroy it. So that's why there probably is a lot of fear going on, because it's just going to get nuts. And this is the tidal wave I've been talking about in the videos, that I just don't think it matters. You can talk about regulation, you tell you're blue in the face. You can live in la la land. I don't care what you want to call it. You're in some fantasy world if you think a CEO is going to say, no, we better wait for the government to tell us what to do. They're gonna come out with this and send it, and then just see what happens. That's why I think everything is about to change. Yeah, seeing at first it was AI, and then I realized there was a silent robotics race going on that no one's talking about. I've even said on this channel that I think the government does know about it, and they're downplaying it because even they recognize the tidal wave. They're probably just busy trying to save their own butts. How are we going to live in this space? I think that question is already being asked quite a bit, outside of everybody acting like an ostrich with their head in the sand. So let me know down below, guys. What are your thoughts? Where do you think we are actually at? So again, we'll call that's 2020. So this is 2024, right where we are. I know I kind of muddied this up a little bit. I think personally, we're right here with the robots we've seen. I do think we're right here. I think that's Optimus. Right now, Optimus is slow. We've seen Optimus folding laundry. We've seen Figure One doing your coffee, handing you an apple, putting the plates in the thing, the drying rack, right, doing the dishes. Now, they've all been slow. The walking pace of Optimus is 1.5 miles an hour, which if you haven't seen the updates on Optimus, we'd have to really zoom in just to this mark right here. You had November, Optimus was announced. And then that was 2022. Okay. And then March of 2023, we saw it. We saw what Figure 2. But March the announcement, we finally saw it on stage. March we actually saw some we saw it had skin, kind of like a plates, I guess, if you will. This was a very open, just a bunch of metal, white plates. It was doing some things. And then December of 23, we saw it doing yoga, doing the yoga poses, doing everything else. It was walking. Everyone made fun of the walking. Like, oh, it walks because it walked flat-footed with a bent knee, and it didn't sway its arms. Everyone said it walked like Joe Biden. It's funny because it kind of did. There was some power savings with that. There was an efficiency as to why it walked that way. But to make it more approachable, they also fixed that. So also in March of 24 now, so this is 22, 23, 1 year later, 24, we have version 3. Now, it's not walking flat-footed anymore. It does sway its arms. It looks like a human, and it walks 1.5 miles an hour. That's 30% faster than what it was in December, of 23. So if you can't pay attention to this timeline and see what's going on, you either we're going to go back to the IQ thing, and yours has got to be at least below 69 to ignore that, or you are like an ostrich sticking your head in the sand, hoping if you don't, like when a toddler covers their eyes, they can't see you, so they automatically assume you can't see them, like they're hiding. That's how I feel like most adults are right now. If you can't understand, like people are talking about the robot and how what it can't do. What they're not talking about is what it can do, and just what the difference it's made in just 1 year. Each time we saw a model change, and it looks a little bit different and a little bit more like a human doing more complex things. And it's not even the Optimus bot anymore. Figure One with backing from Bezos and Microsoft. They're coming in hot. They are instantly a competition for Elon. Cars, they do model changes about every 7 years, every 5 7 years, I think, depending on the manufacturer, and you get a new body, maybe a new engine. They change everything up. You're getting a new model change every few months with this. What is this going to be come December of 2024? Juggling and driving? Do we even need full self-driving, or does the robot figure it out first? This is growing very fast. So now it is a race between does AI take over your accounting job, or does a robot show up and start sorting stuff out for you in manufacturing? So just some things to think about. Again, I think we're right here. I do think, we're in 2024? Right now, 2026, 2027, I think we're here. Let me get, yeah, I think that's going to be my timeline right now. I was an inside 2030 guy, and then now I think it's just getting bumped up. So I'll wrap it up here. I'm very curious what you guys' thoughts are. All of them, whether you agree, disagree. I've had some comments. People say, "Hey, we need to pump the brakes. We haven't cured cancer yet." Again, to those people, here. Well, these erasers aren't that. I think this is right around the corner. Man, I literally went out and bought these markers for this. These are brand new, never used. I think that's right around the corner. I think we're about to jump into that phase right there, and things are going to grow faster than people can imagine, which is why I think the conversations should be had now and not later. So I'll wrap it up here. Let me know all the comments down below. I want to know everyone's thoughts. This is the most generic, just timeline in general. Where do you think we hit the exponential? Where do you think we are right now as far as task complexity? And can you say that 3 times at a normal pace? Not even fast, just a normal pace. Where do you think we're at? And when do you think we cross D-Day, where a robot or AI can do everything a human can do the same? I'll wrap it up here. I've said it a million times. Answer all that. But, thumbs up, share it, comment, all that. I'll see you guys in the next video.